Hi, I'm Claire Louise and I'm a theatrical wardrobe mistress working in the West End of London. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my tips and tricks on how to get the best out of clothing repairs and alterations. In this video I'm going to show you how to hem trousers. Now I'm using a sleeve board, which is a really great way of doing trouser alterations, and if you want to do several of these I recommend investing in one. I'm also using an iron-off tailor's chalk, which is a kind of waxy tailor's chalk. Again, doing lots of alterations, this is a real speed saver. So I need to shorten these trousers by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark a new hemline all the way around with my iron-off tailor's chalk. If you don't have iron-off tailor's chalk, you can use regular tailor's chalk and just make the line slightly narrower than the actual width and make sure that's pressed on the inside. Now I'm going to use this quick unpick and unpick all my original stitching, which I've already done, and then I'm just going to fold the new hem up inside my trousers and then sliding it back on my sleeve board. I'm going to press a nice crisp hem. By pressing before we stitch, it gives us a really professional finish. And this iron-off tailor's chalk is disappearing as I'm ironing. It is worth testing your fabric first to make sure that it does disappear. And then I'm removing my trousers from my sleeve board, and you can see I've got a really nice sharp crease for my new hem. I don't want all of this extra fabric, so I'm going to just run round and trim some of this excess to about 1 inch. Taking my pins, I'm just going to pin this hem flat, ready for stitching. I'm going to do a stitch called an invisible hem, and to do that I want to flip this hem to the outside, and I'm just going to do my stitches inside that little fold there. I'm going to stitch this in white just so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm starting by passing a knot underneath the fabric and doing a back stitch, and that's just to make sure that my stitching is nice and secure. And then I'm just opening up that little fold, and I'm taking one stitch and a tiny bit of the outside fabric and then a stitch into the seam allowance, and then a tiny little bit of the fabric and a stitch into the seam allowance. I'm going to do this all the way around my trousers. This stitch goes in a left-right direction, and depending on how neat you want it, depends on how close your stitches are. On much thicker fabrics, I could get away with taking more fabric when I take the piece up from the body of the trouser. And when I come back to the beginning, I'm just going to secure into the hem allowance with a couple of back stitches. And on my last back stitch, I pass my needle through the loop to make a knot. Snip. Take my pins out. And then I would repress that hem. And that's how you hem trousers.